everybody? It's your boy Ram the Man here for everyone watching, and it's your boy.
And today, Cathaniel.
And we also got another special guest joining us today.
Big Buck in the building. BIGGB and Son K.
And this is Big Buck's first time I'm actually being on the channel, but we're very glad to have him here today. And so in our last video, so make sure y'all go subscribe to all three of our channels. Before we get into today's subject, make sure y'all go subscribe to all three of our channels. Hit that thumbs up, comment down below, and make sure y'all share the video too with your friends. And as y'all know what it is, let's get it, y'all.
Yeah.
So in our last subject, So in our last subject, and the first one, and it was just me and MJJ Cathaniel. We were talking about how to be a positive influence on others. Now, our Big Buck was kind enough to join us to give us his insight. So this one is kind of the sequel to that video. This is how to be an influence on people part 2. So it's pretty much just to reiterate some of the stuff we were talking about on the last one is you want to make sure, or if you want to make sure if you want to be a positive influence on people, you have to make sure your energy is positive. You have to make sure your energy is good and your energy is right. Because people don't want to be around people that's negative. As I mentioned in my previous videos, you want to have positive energy around you, but you also got to make sure your energy is positive. And we're going to give you some tools on how to do that. Want to start us off, Buck, since you're new?
Yeah. Right. So, the positive light is, for me, at least, my advice is to look through yourself and ask yourself, either I'm worthy or am I not worthy? And I believe that if people know how much they are worth, not just with each other, but with themselves, both on the physical level, emotional level, and the psyche. And I believe that with all of that, and you reevaluate themselves before judging others based on either the content of their character or their actions. And I believe that if we all know the three golden rules, both the content of your character, the actions of your character, and how you execute yourself, meaning how to project into others.
Yes, and we're going to take them all step by step. Yeah, and we're going to take each one of what he just said step by step. Too, and break it down into syllables so y'all will know, get a better understanding of what we're talking about. So we're going to break it down into action. The first one, and the first step is the... What was the first one you said, bro?
I said both the physical, meaning how you treat yourself physically.
Yeah, so we're going to explore that.
I'll see you guys for a minute. I'm going to leave for a minute. I'll be back.
All right.
All right, go ahead. We'll be waiting. Waiting for you.
All right. So let's explore on the first one. All right. How you treat yourself physical. And what we mean by that is make sure you treat yourself good and treat yourself with pride. Make sure you feel positive. My take on that and on how you should treat yourself is make sure that you wake up feeling positive and feeling better about yourself. Feel great about yourself. Like Michael Jackson said it best. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. And so make sure you be happy with yourself so you can look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, that's the first one. But before we go to the second one, I wanted to say is that it's how you look at yourself, not how how can we see, but how can we feel as an individual. So with that being said, is based on this kind of conversation, it takes a little bit step by step. So that's how we execute it, properly execute yourself, to project yourself. And let's go on with step 2.
All right, the actions of our character. All right. Now, before I give my take on that, Buck will explain that one.
Oh, okay. And our actions is basically is when we accidentally bump into someone or accidentally hurt somebody without even noticing. It could be either a good thing or a bad thing due to the outcome of the whole thing based on your actions. And a lot of it has to do with your actions and how can we avoid problems and the dramas involving our actions, meaning that we can say, oh, I'm sorry, I accidentally bumped into you, I'm sorry, or and this is another way of pointing this out, or don't say nothing at all, and which is a bad thing, act like you ignore it, but that's not the right way to go. So you want to go to number 1, which is, say, you know what, hey, look, I apologize, I never intended to do that, and I hope that it will never happen again. So,
yes, because I'm sure we've all heard this saying, and that actions speak louder than words. And my take on that is by your action. You want to show people that you're loving and caring too by their actions. Like, say, for example, if a person is going through something, you want to be like, oh, I'm sorry you had to go through that, and I'm here for you to support you. I'm here if you need me. If you want to talk to me, you can call me. If we could talk on the phone, we could talk on the social media, on Zoom, or whatever it is device, the app you have, or whatever device it is you're using. Since we can't be around people like we'd like to be physically due to the whole pandemic and social distancing, but at least through social media and through Zoom, we're still able to contact our friends. And so you want to always be there. And that brings me to number three, being a positive inspiration on people. Also, is being friendly. This is a new topic right here, and how to be friendly is make sure that you're being kind and generous to the other person. So you want to make sure or that you're being kind and generous as to the other person too. That's how you want to be friendly.
Yes. And the third one, which is the psyche of the brain, meaning what we do and how we think, is that sometimes one way or the other, it can be misconstrued to one way or the other. Either A, you didn't know what you're doing and hope that you can avoid one problem and fix the problem before it can get any worse, or 2, it can mess up or any way how can we construct ourselves. And it can ruin everything what you have, either your job, your families, your friends, your workplace, and the people that respect you. So these are 5 words that can either break you or make you.
Exactly. And like I said, and Boke is obviously being an inspiration because as he's a little bit he's around the same age as me, and he's teaching me something, even though he's a little younger than I am, but he's teaching me something.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, hey, you want to, because like I said at an opening, and you got to make sure, or that your energy is right. You got to make sure that you're together, or before you can encourage someone else too.
Yeah.
And this is very, very encouraging even to me. And so, like I said, and so, depending on what you say and do, like both said, it can make or break you. And when you're doing on social media, you do have to be very careful, because you don't know who could be watching. You don't know, how your words can affect other people. Because a lot of people, they could take your words the wrong way, and they're not going to care. And they're not going to care what issues you have. They're not going to care if you jacked up in their head. All they going to see is that you said some dumb stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's all. And that's what they're going to judge you based on. They're not going to care about your reasons. They're not going to care about, especially if, and they don't even know you. Dude, that's what they're going to judge you based on. It's funny how people do that, and despite the fact that they don't even know you.
Right.
But it happens.
Right.
And now moving on to number 4.
Number 4. You want to take the lead on this one?
Okay. Number 4 is be mindful how you treat others. Be mindful of how you treat other people. In other words, tell them stuff that'll build them up. Don't try to tell them nothing that'll tear them down, because as we wouldn't like it if someone did that to us. So make sure you're there to build that person up, and you want to make sure you're there to build that person up, not tear them down. And that should be either a whole goal always, to make sure that we're encouraging in people. And which is something me and MJJ Capneal mentioned in the first one. So make sure you build. It'll tell people stuff that'll build them up. And that's my interpretation of it. Folks gonna give his interpretation of what I just said.
You want me to give my interpretation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can't top that. What you said, I can't top that.
All right. Well, let's move on to number 5.
6.
The focus of our character. Number 5, actually, is the focus of our character.
Number 5, the focus of our character.
Yeah.
It's basically the construction of the canvas of your body. We already know how to take care of ourselves, but how do we properly execute of taking care of our body, our mind, and our soul?
Yeah. And focusing on and that could be used in a number of ways, whether we're exercising, whether we're going for the walk in the park, or because I know we're not able to do a lot of stuff, like I said, due to the fact that we're limited into what we can do. But try and do as much as you can to get a lot of physical activity to keep your energy and keep your glow right. Because we all want to keep our glows right. Right.
Right.
Yeah. And we were going to come up by but I guess we'll do an extra one too. On, like I said, and now here's number 6. And this is the ultimate tool right here. And I mentioned this at the end of the last video. The ultimate way, and I'm just to reiterate from the last video, because both didn't hear it, on how to be an influence on people is to make sure, or like I said, that you set a good example. Make sure that you set a good example yourself. How do you do that? Well, I'll let Boke explain first how you can set a good example, and then I'll give my interpretation.
Well, the thing about being an influence on somebody is a really big responsibility, first and foremost. And second, It's how can anyone look up to anyone if you can't be your own example? How can you be your own leader? How can you be your own individual and independent one at best? Meaning that either A, you could be the good example and show young children and young adults how to be one of the most good influences of your own neighborhood, and your own homes and your own families. And if we all do that, if we all combine ourselves and unite in becoming influencing other people in a good positive light, how can we as a people unite together as one if we don't come to agree or disagree on certain type of things that we had to build up the positive way of influencing people to do good and do better instead of the other way around.
And I particularly enjoyed the part that was so inspirational to me, because as I particularly enjoyed like that first part about being a leader or two, instead of being a follower, and that's a thing. And another way is to be a good example. And like I said, to make sure or you set a good example is like I said. Like I said, people are going to learn more from your actions. They're going to learn more or from what you say rather than what you do. And what both did actually bring me to another bonus point. The bonus number 7 on setting a good example is being a leader and instead of being a follower. How you do that? And like you said, and in other words, don't just follow behind someone else. Make sure that you take the lead sometimes and be a good leader.
Right.
Got something to add to that?
I got nothing.
Yeah. So like you said, how you do that? And like you said, to make sure or to be a leader instead of a follower. And a special thank you to both for putting that in there too. Ooh. So with that being said, we hope everybody learned a lot from this. A special thank you to Big Buck for being on part of the channel. This is his first time on the channel. Oh, he's got a YouTube channel too. Make sure you guys go.
I have 2 different channels. One is my musician channel, which is Big Buck, which is URAM are subscribed, and as far as I know. And the other one is the Paulman Show, which is the biggest, my very first and biggest YouTube channel of all. You can subscribe to me at the Paulman Show on YouTube, and you can also follow me here on Instagram at official Big Buck, and at the show, I have an official Instagram for the Paulman Show, which is at the Paul Altman Show. Make sure you follow that too for content and future interviews. And I want to thank Ram for allowing me to be a part of his history for his YouTube. And also subscribe to Ram if you haven't, because he has a lot of good content. So go ahead and subscribe if you have not.
Absolutely, and make sure y'all go hit that notification bell too, so y'all never miss a video. And comment down below if you guys learned anything from this, because we do go back and read the comments, and so I personally go back and read the comments too, because I do want to know what you guys are saying, what you guys are talking about. And like I said in the opening, a special shout out to Big Bo. First time on the channel. I look forward to having him back on the channel again. And y'all know the Tingo model: stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Stay cool,
stay blessed. And stay blessed.
Yeah.
I said and stay.
Good. That's an added one too. Ooh. And stay strong, stay awesome, and as always, stay groovy. Ram the Man is out.
Thank you so much.
Good.